Hey guys, welcome back to Three Terrible Gamers. This is episode 54, and I'm here with Colin.
Hey guys.
All right, we have a bunch of topics from last week and a few from this week. Last week we only went through three topics because Super Mario Bros. Wonder Direct kind of held us off, so we'll go ahead and get into it. The Saints Row developers have shut down.
Yeah, Volitons,
Volition,
whatever. Uh,
maybe? I don't know.
yeah, it's a weird uh spelling for it, but the Saint Rose reboot didn't do too well, and I think that was their last ditch effort to pretty much mend as a company and everything else with it. Which I mean, it's sad for me and a thing because I mean I'm a person I prefer Saint Rose over top of Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah,
so
they're good
it
games.
yeah. So in the sense of it, it sucks that they shut down, but you can only do so much when your competition has been killing you for literal years. Uh, but the lackluster performance of the reboot because I believe they released more bugs than what there was in the original Saint Rose game,
Yeah,
which is saying something.
yeah,
Uh, and the last mainstream title it got released was actually a spin-off, and it was Agents of Mayhem, and I think it came out in like 2017 or whatever, and it done extremely like poorly as far as everything goes. So as far as like financially the game was a disappointment. The past two games have been disappointments technically and everything else, but uh can't think. There was one other game I forgot to put it down in my notes, but they made that game as well. But like I said, it's the whole entire like developer, so you wouldn't see any future titles from that game. But like I said, I thought I had it down, but apparently I didn't. I can't remember what game it was, but yet again, it's the terrible in this whole entire situation.
right.
Uh, but it was the Target's last goal was for Saint Rose reboot to get them off the ground and everything, which, yet again, when you come down to reboots, it's a whole different thing with it. If it was a game that a lot of people remembered and everything, especially Nintendo wise, you're going to get a bunch of sales from it. But when it's a
Right.
Saint Rose, at this point, Grand Theft Auto has mastered everything that Saint Rose does, or mastered it before them, technically, I should say, because Grand Theft Auto is a sandbox, but Saint Rose is I'm going to call it a litter box. You never know what they're going to get into. The
Right.
sandbox is there, you get what you get, but St. Rose is so sporadic with their decisions and everything else of what you can do, which to me personally makes it a better game. But at the same time, more people like the standardization of like how Grand Theft Auto is ran, opposed to having extra stuff to do in different ways.
Right. Yeah, so says Volition, I guess that's how I'm gonna say it. Volition Games, the studio behind the Saints Row and Red Faction series or franchises, announced it was shutting down effective immediately. It released a new statement discussing its 30-year history and thanking the talent that has come through its doors across 3 decades and its community of fans. So, yeah, like you said, it's sad to see because I like the Saint Rose games too, and this was their final shot. If this failed, the Saints Rose reboot, they were going to shut down, and it definitely failed. Uh, I think instead of doing a reboot, they should have remade or just instead of a remake, just polishing up the games that made them famous in the first place. Like especially the ones that people mostly played, like Saints Row the Third. They could have just put some fresh graphics on it
Yeah.
and re-released it. Saints Row 4, that was a fun one. Just release those two in a combo pack or even separately, and it would have been received better than the Saints Row reboot because, for one, the graphic style kind of turned me away from the reboot as soon as I seen it. It's too cartoony to be a Saints Row game, in my opinion, because Saints Row is more realistic, or the ones I played are. So that kind of turned me off of even trying it out, and then it released like Cyberpunk did with a bunch of bugs. And when you release a game like that, it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah, because by the time the third and the fourth one came out, they pretty much had their gears going for the whole thing.
Right.
The first two, they weren't really that good games in the first place, but the third and fourth ones, that's when they sold the most. So it seems like, I mean,
They had
I
their
can understand
formula
trying to go,
down.
yeah, but they had their formula down because, like you said, it was more realistic. The story was definitely not realistic.
No,
If
no.
you're
The graphic style
No, but
was.
the graphics were realistic for
Yeah.
sure. But that's what, yet again, when I said a litter box earlier, that's the difference in between that and a Grand Theft Auto is Grand Theft Auto, it's more realistic stuff, more stuff. I mean, granted, don't recommend you committing crimes, but, you know, doing what you do in Grand Theft Auto is a whole lot more realistic than what you can do in a Saint Rose game. Because last time I checked, you're not randomly a president of the United States that gets overran by aliens.
Right. But just that
So,
story alone is what makes Saints Row different from Grand Theft Auto, because like you said, Grand Theft Auto is just realistic mostly, and Saints Row, I mean, it's an open letterbox world, like you said, and you just never know what they're going to throw at you. Like being the president and fighting aliens and stuff, it was fun and it was cool. I think they should have just remade it. Don't remaster it, just remake it, and they would have been better than the reboot with very cartoonish graphics. And I think Saints Row fans, long time Saints Row fans, that's what turned them away from it. Like me, was the graphic style. Because I mean, it's kind of like the Toon Link in the Zelda franchise. Kind of pointing towards kids, even though it's a Saints Row game. People think it's more childish if it has cartoony graphics, even though it's rated mature.
yeah. At least Wind Waker had an excuse because it was an E for everyone game.
Right. And I mean, maybe like Wind Waker, 20 years later, people realize it was a mistake not to get the game and that it was a really good game after, they fixed the bugs and stuff on Saints Row. It might be a good game in 20 years and people will, be regret that they didn't try it out when it was first released.
Well, they definitely won't be fixing the bugs now.
I mean, they could, somebody, I'm sure they'll sell the franchise over and somebody else could fix it.
That's true.
I mean, Saints Row, it's still a good franchise. I'm sure they're just not going to leave them, let it die. I'm sure they'll probably sell at least that one franchise off to somebody else. Maybe Microsoft will buy it.
Definitely. That'd be a nice little twist in their thing.
Yeah, put them all. I guess they are kind of on Game Pass. No, they're not. They were on Games with Gold. That's what they were on.
Yeah, they've been old in the past. That's how I got the freaking uh 4,
That's how I got.
and I
Yeah,
bought one from GameStop used.
yeah. I never played 1 or 2. I played 3 and 4. 4 was my favorite personally, but
Two's the only one I haven't beat, and that's because whenever I got it for the 360, I was trying to do the achievement hunting on it, and when you load in, they load you in online, and if anyone in your thing is using cheat codes, it automatically counts for you too. So you lose all your achievement. You have to pretty much start over to go back to it. So that's why I never beat 2, is because I'm just like, okay, I tried to beat it how it was supposed to be beat and everything else, and then somebody in my lobby happened to be using cheat codes, and I wasn't going to restart because I was pretty far into the game.
yeah, that sucks. That's stupid.
So that's one downside the games did have. If you used cheat codes, you banned yourself from getting achievements on all 4 of them.
Yeah, yeah, that sucks. But we'll go ahead and
That's another
go ahead.
step from Grand Theft Auto as well. Was Grand Theft Auto wants you to use
Right,
cheats.
yeah. They've always been known for their cheat codes. We're gonna move on. Gears of War movie potential.
Yeah, which I mean, it kind of shocked me a little bit. God of War creator Cliff Bleszinski, I think it's close enough, has approved Zack Snyder, which I believe he done the Justice League, didn't he?
Man of Steel, Watchmen, and upcoming Rebel Moon is what I have.
So a bunch of DC stuff.
Yeah,
So kind of, in a sense, the same style of what you would get from Gears of War. I mean, minus superheroes, obviously, but still like the same type of storyline, I guess you could get from the thing of it.
right.
Uh, is essentially directing a movie based on the acclaimed video game series. So take it for what it is. Zack Snyder, I mean, he's had some pretty good movies in his day, especially if he winds up being a director. I'd say the movie will wind up doing good, which I think Gears of War is trying to cash in on what Nintendo's doing and, revamping, which I guess technically Mortal Kombat started
Yeah,
this
video
whole
game
entire trend.
movies.
Video game movies, like rebooting, I guess, not putting new spins on them because obviously they all got their fair share back in the 90s and 80s
Right.
of their video game adaptations, but mastering it, I guess I should say, because the last Mortal Kombat came out, and like I said, it started a trend again, was probably the best one that had been released video game relation in a while. And then, of course, Mario definitely mastered it, blew it out of
Yeah,
the
definitely
box
was
office.
better than that, but
So Gears of War and Microsoft are probably banking on this to do the same thing as what just happened to Nintendo.
I mean, Gears of War, it has the potential because it's a action shooter, so it has potential to do good and be a good movie if they don't mess it up. But yeah, it says one of Xbox's most beloved video game series is in development with the Gears of War movie on Netflix. One of the most highly anticipated game to action adaptations to be in discussion over the last decade. Gears of War follows a squad of soldiers attempting to end an apocalyptic war against a subterranean enemy known as the Locust. The series has the potential to be an epic R-rated action flick, and Netflix could deliver exactly that when Gears of War release date arrives. Then it goes on to say that Zack Snyder will be directing it. Um, and then it says, what's his name? What is his, where is he at? Cliff. Yeah, you like you said, Cliff Blenzinski. Um,
I think it.
they want him to play Marcus, which is the main character in Gears of War. If none of you have ever played Gears of War before, and it says that he's most likely going to do it, but he's also in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. So I mean, it has the potential to be a good movie. Like I said, it's an action shooter, third person action shooter, but third person don't really matter if it's in a movie. So I mean, I'll watch it. You know, if it comes out on Netflix, I'll watch it, check it out.
That's definitely how most majority of movies are taped is third person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What you got, like your occasional, like a Blair Witch, which is still off and on in between first person for the camera and everything else. So, I mean, yeah, your typical movie setup is third person, so it'll definitely work out in Gears of War favor.
Oh yeah. Well, and I don't know if a first person movie would be too bad. Like if they made a Call of Duty movie, I mean that might be cool.
I mean, even when they done the Doom movie in 2005, they
Yeah,
done basically as a first person shooter, and they had to do it in third person.
yeah,
So, I mean, you still transferred in a while. I mean, you have to be kind of weird outside of the horror aspect, I guess I should say. Because, like I said, Blair Witch made it work in the late 90s, but not really anything has touched on it since because it's pretty much a found footage type of situation, which is more generally involved in horror.
yeah.
So, I mean, I guess you could technically do it with a shooter because you could do like a whole entire quote unquote like body cam situation.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what the way I pictured it was a body cam. Yeah, something like that.
we'll see what direction it goes. I mean, like I said, this one will definitely be your normal movie setup just because third person is the name of the game, quite literally.
Yeah. All right, moving on. PlayStation Plus price has increased.
Yeah, which yet again is supposed to be a topic for last week. So this week it has increased
Yeah.
officially. Uh, the price increase is significant for anyone who is subscribed to the yearly basis. PS Plus Essentials will cost $20 more per year. PS Plus Extra, which gets you a bunch of extra games on the PS4 and PS5 era games, will be $35 more per year. And the PS Plus Premium, which gives you both the previous tiers plus access to retro games catalog, will cost you $40 more per year. Which don't really surprise me that they decided to increase their prices because Microsoft just literally done it
Right.
for their
And
stuff.
Sony sees an opportunity to make more money. They're going to jump on it.
Yep. So statistically, they're being Sony, they're copying everybody else, and then going to put their ideas and make it worse.
This made a lot of people mad. I mean, Microsoft doing it didn't make as many people mad. Like, I get that they're going to up the price because they have so many games on there and they're adding good ones each month. Sony, yes, they have decent games, but it's not on the level of Game Pass. You can't cloud game just anywhere. You have to have a PlayStation in order to even use the subscription. You don't have to have an Xbox to use Game Pass. You can literally use your phone and a controller if you want to. You can't do that with PlayStation Plus. You have to have a PlayStation, and then you get those games. And you can cloud game on your PlayStation, but you, like I said, you can't even use your phone. So it's not on the same level as Game Pass, and Sony is acting like it is, like they can just raise the price and make it more expensive than Game Pass. I don't understand Sony's logic at all.
No, I mean, other than just trying to gouge their player base,
Yeah, that's it. And yet
because I
people
mean, mass
still
hitter,
buy
only just
PlayStations.
quite a few people. Yeah, and going to buy their little fancy $200 equipment that you still can't cloud game off of. You're gonna be in the same house.
You got to be. It's so stupid. Connected to the same Wi-Fi network as your PlayStation 5. You might as well just play your PlayStation 5. Like, I understand getting a handheld, that's fine. But if you want to actually play games on it, just get a handheld PC.
Yep.
Because the only thing you're going to be playing is cloud gaming, or it's not even cloud gaming at that point. I mean, it's kind of is, kind of isn't. It's just remote play. I mean, you're relying on Wi-Fi both for cloud and remote play, but cloud gaming, at least you can take it anywhere.
Yep.
I don't understand it. Sony makes no sense with their decisions. And then yeah, it makes people mad that they're going to increase the price, and but people are still going to buy it
Yep.
when they could just get Game Pass. Yeah, I know Game Pass doesn't have PlayStation games, but like I said, get a handheld PC and play PlayStation games off of Steam.
Boycott Sony.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean I have like 4 or 5 PlayStation Studio games on my PC right now, but I didn't buy them from Sony.
I mean, they still got their price from it from what they would pay for Steam or whatever, but
Well, I didn't
it's
even buy it on
still
Steam. I bought it off of CD Keys, which already has the card. It's like one of those things you buy the card from them and they send it to you digitally, kind of like Amazon. They pay Sony,
gotcha.
or they pay Steam, which pays Sony. So it's like 2 levels below. So Sony didn't see my money. They seen somebody else's money. That's how far I want to be from Sony to get their games.
That's fair.
Because
That's
they
fair.
make good games. I'm not gonna lie, they do make good games, but just the way they act and it makes me mad. I will play their games because they're good, but I'm not buying them from them. I'll buy them 2 tiers below them, so they won't ever see my money.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and move on since Sony's on the topic here. Spider-Man 2 file size has been leaked.
Uh, Yeah, it's, I mean, relatively big game. I don't guess it's any bigger than what a Call of Duty is nowadays, but 98 gigs for the base game because obviously they're going to release DLCs and stuff in the future. It's just a given at this point
Right.
in age of gaming. And so, like I said, it's going to be 98 gigabytes for the base game on the PS5.
Yeah, I can't remember how much the Spider-Man remaster is because I just bought it last week. It was on sale for $28, so I bought it. I can't remember how much it was. I'm thinking like 72 gigabytes or something like that. So this one's definitely a bit bigger than that. So definitely should have more content, obviously. And like you said, if they add DLC, that's even more. It says Marvel Spider-Man 2 is expected to be much bigger than its predecessors, featuring new locations and powerful abilities for Peter Parker and Miles Morales. The game is speculated to take up a significant amount of storage space on the PlayStation 5. The leaked file size of 98 gigabytes, found on the limited edition PS5 console bundle box, indicates that Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be much larger than previous games in the series. So, also got to take in consideration I have it on PC. This is going to be on PS5. So when they release the PC version, it'll probably be quite a bit bigger than 98 gigabytes. Just how much more content PC usually takes to get it running good and how many different settings you have to make it run good on PC takes up more space. So like I said, mine's 72 on PC and this is 98 on a PS5 console. So
Yeah, so Spider-Man 1, it was the PS4 though, wasn't it?
it was a PS4 game. Then they remastered it for the PS5.
Gotcha.
And mine's the remastered version. That's when they released the PC port. Is when they remastered it for the PS5. They also released it on PC.
Okay.
And then Miles Morales, it was released for both PS5 and PC.
So naturally, they're saying it's going to be a bigger game anyway, since you just said that it's going to be Spider-Man and Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2.
Well, I don't know if it's like a two in one, but I guess two stories in one maybe because it says new locations and powerful abilities for Peter Parker and Miles Morales. So I guess you can switch between the two and play different stories, or maybe it's the same story. You just get to switch your player. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Taking a page from SpongeBob games.
Yeah,
Go ahead to the soft and switch out characters real quick.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Spider-Man One. I've been playing it, like I said, off and on. I mean, I haven't had a whole lot of time because I'm working 13 hours, but uh, what I have played, it's really fun, and I enjoyed the Spider-Man games on the PS2, like Spider-Man 1 and 2. I played on there, and they were pretty good games. These are obviously better because time has, gone by and kind of fixed some of the problems with the originals.
Yeah.
All right. Nintendo Switch blockbuster sale.
Wait. Oh, that's not good.
What?
Uh, so the other day, whenever you sent the topics, I went through and I just screenshotted all the sales that was going on.
Mm,
That way, I could just like the whole entire list basically instead of typing out everything.
right.
For whatever reason, wait a second, I might just be too dumb for my phone. Yeah, I'm just too dumb for my phone.
Okay.
Never mind, I got it. Because I've done like six screenshots to get everything.
There's a ton of games.
Yeah, there was a ton of games, and that's what all I took a thing for. So I'm gonna give you a list of games. I don't know if you got anything extra other than games.
I don't have any games actually because I was just going to tell them the details on the sale. I figured you'd have the games.
Okay, well, I guess that works out perfectly then. All right, so the games are going to be Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Taiki no Tassian Rhythm Festival. Uh, the Lego one was 2309. The one I just said, I'm not going to try to even pronounce it again, is 2909. Uh, Katana Zero or Katana Zero is $8.99. Castlevania Advance Collection is $11.99. Uh, well, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope is on sale. Monster Hunter Rise is on sale. I believe they're both $30 a piece. I could be a little off because I didn't take a picture of their
Price.
but I believe it was like over 50% off. Like they're extremely cheap right now.
Yeah, all these games are really cheap compared to what they usually are.
Plants vs. Zombies Battle for, I guess, the neighborhood, since it's in spaced out, but that's what I remember seeing on this one. It's only $6 right now, and it's normally 40.
Yeah.
Uh, Sifu, it's 23.99. It's normally $40, so not as big of a deal. The Lego 2K game, it's 40.19 right now, and it's normally 60.
Yeah, it just
Dragon
came
Ball
out.
Z or Dragon Ball Fighters, it just came out. It came out in May, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Uh, Dragon Ball Fighters Ultimate 39.49, 38.49. Uh, Dragon Ball Fighters not Ultimate, basically. So the base game is 7.49. The Spyro Reunited Trilogy is $16. I'm just going to start saying more around to the next since that way it's a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Uh, Diablo Free Collection is $30. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is $16. Mega Man Legacy Collection is $8. BioShock Collection is $10, normally 50. Wonderful 101 Remastered is $18. The MLB The Show 23 Digital Deluxe Edition is $40. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is $20, normally 40, so half off fair. Nino Kuno Wrath of the White Witch sounds appetizing.
Yeah.
Is tip. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is 13.49. Can't round that one up. L.A. Noir, I believe that's remember when that game came out. I wanted to play it, but I never did, and I'm still probably not going to buy it. But it's $25. It Takes Two is $30.
Good game.
Crash Bandicoot is It Takes Two is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Crash Bandicoot 4 is $20. Rune King, a League of Legends story, so a DC title here is $20. Enter the Gungeon, not Dungeon, is $6. Axiom Verge 1 and 2 bundle is $20. Okami HD, $10. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus is $12. Looks like a bunch of gossip goes on in that game. Little Nightmares 2 is $10. Well, $9.89. That is all the games on sale on this Blockbuster sale. Not from Blockbuster.
Right, so they're shut down. Yeah, so it just says save up to 50% during the Blockbuster sale. Found deals through September 10th, which at the time of recording is today. So if those of you listening live get this bonus. If you don't listen live, then you should. But September 10th at 11:59. So you have till, well, that's Pacific time. So you have almost till midnight Pacific time. It says looking for your next thrilling adventure, save on big select games and DLC for Nintendo Switch system. All right. So technically we're out of time, but I want to go over this last topic real quick because kind of excited for it because I'm a baby. All right. So new Rugrats game has been announced.
Yeah, it's came as a kind of a shock. It was announced at PAX West because it was just in its. I guess they had it in like a little corner, so people would just really miss it at PAX West as well.
Yeah.
If you went to PAX West, tell us if how obvious it was to find this. But the new Rugrats game announced, Rugrats Adventures in Gameland is what it'll be, is what it was shown at PAX West. So you know when it comes down to like an E3 type of situation, the game may be named something, but it could change slightly when it actually gets released.
Right. Yeah.
But this one was an NES style game. The developer said it should have been made back when the show got released,
In the 90s.
but differ on that one a little bit just because the Rugrats got released the month before the SNES came out. So I think they should have done a 16-bit
Yeah.
instead of a
8-bit.
bit because even though it was out for a month, I mean, I'm not going to say that it wasn't a hit show right out the gates because obviously that was before my time, time wise or whatever. But it was, it was still famous. It was still a big show whenever I was born.
Yeah. When
But
we were
I
little,
don't
we watched it
think
a lot.
like most shows. I don't think is famous right away. It takes a bit. So at a month time, I wouldn't say it was really that big yet.
Right.
So in saying that, I think developers should have done a little bit more research when the show got released, opposed to the time frame it was. So in reality, for the situation is they should have done it for a SNES type of style game instead of a NES.
Okay.
But that's my complaints on the game. Other than that, it looks like a pretty relatively good game.
Yeah. I think I'll try it. I had the Rugrats game back on the GameCube. I believe that was the last one to be released at all
Ah,
until now.
no,
Huh?
so I have that game from you.
Yeah. But it says the Mixed Games has announced a brand new Rugrats video game titled Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. This welcome surprise to gamers and animation fans everywhere would be the first Rugrats game to be released in over 19 years. Like I said, I believe it was the GameCube one that it was a fun game. I played it a lot. But it says a staple in the 90s Nickelodeon programming lineup, Rugrats was an animated television show that revolved around the curious adventures of a group of babies. The Mixed Games, Wall Ride, and Limited Run Games have teamed up to release a brand new Rugrats game. The first official announcement trailer shows extended gameplay that is reminiscent of NES games. The show's iconic characters of Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil could be seen jumping, digging, and crawling their way through various levels. And then it goes on to say small toy like enemies appear to pose a slight danger to the babies, though they are able to defeat them and pick up baby bottles to boost their health bar. Art styles can also be swapped from either 8-bit or HD, with the HD version featuring fully hand drawn animation that matches the original cartoon style. So I thought that part was pretty cool, how you could switch from 8-bit or HD and that they made the HD look like the cartoon. I thought that was pretty cool and attention to detail. Yeah,
That is
like I said,
part.
I'm a baby, so I'm excited for this. I'll play it. I don't care what people think. Rugrats was a good show, and I liked it when I was younger, so I'm gonna play the game.
So what you're saying, how it is like the TV show, so it's still going to be a 2D, even though it's going to be HD.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
It also says the game features the option to play single player or local co-op multiplayer. So no online play, just local co-op.
that sucks.
Yep, it does. But I think it'll be a fun game to try. But yeah, I want to get that out way real quick because I was pretty excited about that. So that's all the time we have. Thank you for listening or watching however you get it. Remember, you can always watch us live on Twitch and YouTube. Always in the link down in the description. Join our Discord. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. And buy our merch on Redbubble. And anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. And thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Later, guys.